We're all very aware of the threat of climate change, especially in today's world. According to the House of Common Environmental Audit Committee, clothing production is the third biggest manufacturing industry in the world, only following automotive and technology industries. But don't fret, because you can still have a practical and fun, sustainable wardrobe by avoiding fast fashion. It's important that we avoid fast fashion and look at other options such as upcycling, thrifting, and shopping on secondhand websites and apps. I've been trying to make my wardrobe more sustainable since my sophomore year of high school, when I first started thrifting regularly. We all need clothes, but that does not mean we need to continue to produce them at an extreme rate and in mass amounts. So first, let's talk about fast fashion and what it is and why it should be avoided. Fast fashion is an industry that produces mass amounts of clothing at extreme rates to keep up with trends and demands from the popular stores. Certain fast fashion brands include H&M, Gap, Forever 21, Fashion Nova, and Shein. If you've been on TikTok this year, you know how much Shein has been prevalent and how people are doing a lot of hauls with this cheap clothing. It's detrimental to the environment, though, because of the production and the waste. It's consuming vast amounts of resources, and it emits 1/10 of the world's annual carbon emissions, according to the Healthy Human blog. That's more than international and maritime shipping combined, for some perspective there. Those are some scary statistics, but there's still ways to shop environmentally friendly and have a sustainable wardrobe, and I'll teach you about that now. The first thing you can do is upcycle. This is especially a good option if you're crafty, if you can sew or make alterations to your clothing. First, what you'll do is you'll choose a garment that you'd like to upcycle. This could be something that you haven't worn in a while, that you're bored of, or that you're considering getting rid of. Before you get rid of it, though, maybe look at it creatively and think, how can I make this into something that I can love again? A new clothing item. You can add to it and you can cut it up and resew it to make it into something completely different. I understand, though, that that's not a practical option for everybody if you don't have those skills. There's lots of inspiration online, and you can always try it, but there is still another option. You can shop sustainably. The number one way that you can shop sustainably is by thrift stores. There's lots of local thrift stores. I'm sure you've seen them around town. This option can be kind of time-consuming because you should go through each rack. Going through each rack at the thrift store allows you to sift through things that you don't want to take home with you until you find great finds. Also, you should keep in mind that when you're cleaning out your closet, you can donate back to the thrift stores to kind of keep this cycle of sustainable fashion going. This will give your clothes a longer lifetime and a new home. This isn't for everyone, though. For various reasons, thrift stores are unappealing to some people, which we need to break the stigma around, but we're working on that. And also, it might not be geographically possible for you to get to a thrift store, as well as it is very time-consuming, and you have to go regularly in order to really build your wardrobe off of thrifting. So another option that works really well are apps and websites that people can sell and buy secondhand clothing. Popular ones include Depop, Mercari, and even Facebook Marketplace. I've bought things off of Mercari a lot this past year, and I've had a great experience. These shoes actually just came in a couple weeks ago that I got, one of my favorite purchases. So I got those off of Mercari from a secondhand seller. The great thing about these apps is that they have filters in which you can use to find clothes in your size, color, and aesthetic preference within seconds. That's very helpful. It saves a lot of time as opposed to thrifting. However, it can be more expensive than thrifting. Thrift store prices are usually fairly cheap. But because this is so curated and a lot of people have already done the hard work for you by going thrifting and finding these things to sell, it will be a little bit more expensive. But this is a great option that can work for some people as well. I've given you facts about how to avoid fast fashion and some more sustainable options. Number 1 being upcycling, number 2 thrifting, and number 3 using secondhand websites and apps. You now have the tool to create a sustainable wardrobe. But being sustainable is more important than ever right now. Keep that in mind. But it can also be fun and fashionable too.